A Situation Room briefing on the border that went nowhere.
And the president asked us to come back on Friday.
Neither side is budging.
We would hope that they would reconsider.
The president's reiterating he wants more than $5 billion for a wall.
The $5.6 billion is such a small number. Literally, it's a month. It's 1 month in Afghanistan. And we're talking about national security. This isn't just a border. This is national security.
But Democrats don't want to give a penny. Nancy Pelosi with Savannah Guthrie.
If you and the Democrats don't meet halfway, if you don't compromise, then why isn't the shutdown partially your responsibility as well?
It has nothing to do with us. It has the president saying, I will hold 6 agencies of government hostage to my campaign promise that I was going to build a wall and that Mexico was going to pay for it. That is so ridiculous, A. Mexico's not paying for it, A. And B, we have better use of funds to protect our border.
If this standoff keeps going, so will the partial shutdown.
As long as it takes, I mean, look, I'm prepared. I think the people of the country think I'm right.
But hundreds of thousands of federal workers won't see a paycheck until the government reopens.
What do you want to do, dude?
Like air traffic controller Matthew Craviotto in North Carolina. He has a savings account, but
it's almost depleted. That was my rainy day fund, and it rained.
For his part, the president's focused on the border, where this week, U.S. officials tear-gassed a group of migrants. Customs and Border Protection says agents aimed at people throwing rocks at them, not at migrants trying to cross into the U.S.
Well, we're joined now in the studio by Alistair Sanford for more on this story. Good morning, Alistair.
Morning, Isabel.
So what's the impact of this going to be?
Well, it's already having quite a large impact. We're talking about a quarter of the federal government that has no funding. It's across 9 departments, some 800,000 workers affected who've either been laid off temporarily or who are working without pay. And as we've seen in the report, a number of federal employees are already feeling the pinch. Public sites have run out of emergency funding. So in Washington, for instance, we've got almost 20 museums that have closed down. Other tourist sites as well have been affected. National parks are remaining open. Volunteers are helping them to keep them open. But emergency or services have been curtailed. So, for instance, there's no rubbish collection. We saw the pictures in the report. So it means that campsites in national parks have been closed down. Rescue workers as well aren't operating as usual. And in one case in Texas, a backpacker who broke his leg had to be carried out by one ranger alone because there was no proper emergency service. The immigration court system, some 60 courts, is largely closed, and they've already got a backlog of hundreds of thousands of cases. Other things, well, science labs aren't operating properly, so valuable research isn't being carried out, and also Native American communities are not receiving funds.
But are there any signs that this impasse is going to be broken? And what are the Democrats planning now?
Well, the Democrats take control of the House of Representatives as of today. They've made proposals to reopen the government, and they've offered $1.3 billion for border security. Now, that is well short of the $5 billion that Trump wants for his border wall. They've offered things like surveillance and fencing, but not the border wall. They've also offered money to keep other agencies open. Donald Trump, though, has rejected these moves. He still wants his big, beautiful border wall, and he said last month he'd be proud to shut down the government in order to push for that. So what we've got is a major standoff with both sides digging in. Donald Trump, this was his big flagship campaign promise. Meanwhile, the Democrats, fresh from their midterm success, are flexing their own muscles. Public opinion suggests, certainly one poll suggested that more people blame Donald Trump for this. But will he be pushed to do a deal? The signs aren't there quite just yet. Many experts, observers, suggest that this has some way to go before public pressure really forces people, both sides, to get a grip.
Investors looking for a strong start to the new year have not been given much to cheer. Stocks had a choppy first session of the year, and now there's been a bombshell announcement from Apple. Let's head to Cindy in the Cube for that story.
Well, Apple, I should say the stock market already had a really bad December. It got a big beating and it's still trying to recover. And now Apple stock is down a lot during after-hours trading. Look at this. Look at this huge drop here. It's down to about 8% in after-market trading. And this is because the company says that it is expected to miss its revenue forecast for its latest quarter. It's holiday quarter. It was expecting as much as $93 billion during this fiscal first quarter. And now it says it's expecting $84 billion. So a significant drop. The reason why? Well, the CEO, Tim Cook, says it's because there is weakened demand in China. He sent a letter out to investors saying here that we did not foresee the magnitude of the economic deceleration, particularly in Greater China. Now, the Chinese economy is slowing down after expanding for decades. And in particular, there is weakened demand for the iPhone. Remember, the iPhone is Apple's moneymaker. It is its main cash cow. Now, Cook gives a bunch of reasons for the slowdown. For example, there is now a cheaper battery replacement program for the iPhone. The U.S. dollar is strong. But he says that this is being exacerbated by the U.S.-China trade war, meaning that Apple, one of the largest companies in the world, is now admitting that President Trump's trade war is slowing down the global economy. Now, Donald Trump has often taken credit when the stock market has done well. He tweeted out a lot of positive tweets attributing the stock market gains to his administration in late 2017 and early 2018. But now he says that the reason for this December downturn is just a glitch. He calls it just a simple glitch. And he says that once this trade war is settled, he expects that the stock market will fare a lot better.
Over to Greece now, where a lawsuit by the family of a man killed in the fires in eastern Attica last summer is to be submitted today. This as an unnamed victim died in the village of Neovoustas. The law firm involved says that other suits are on the way. We're joined now from Athens by Euronews' journalist Faye Dulcari. Well, good morning, Faye. Can you tell us a little bit more about this legal action?
Yes, good morning from Athens. This lawsuit turns against the Greek state, the region of Attica, and the municipality of Marathonas, claiming that there were serious omissions on their part, from their part on the day of the mega fire. According to the information we have, the victim of this family was a 70-year-old man that tried to escape the flames with his car, joined by a neighbor which died as well in the fire, but they just didn't have enough time to do that. This is the second legal action that this specific family is taking, and their case is included in the ongoing investigation by the prosecutor that is searching the causes of the fire. Now, in Mati and in Neovoustas, a few months after the fire that changed their lives forever, a lot of people seem frustrated as they say they have heard a lot of promises, but they haven't seen enough actions, as you will be able to see in the video that we have prepared.
The 23rd of July 2018 marked the lives of many people in Greece. The memories and the images of the fire will be haunting thousands for many years, especially those who went through this nightmare and survived. The mega fire swept through Neovoustas and Mati and left behind only destruction and grief. Officially 99 died and hundreds were wounded. Kylie Nagnostou and her son came from Dubai, where they were living permanently, to spend the holidays in Mati. They both got away from the flames literally last minute. I saw from the window that the flames were passing by our house. We got out panicked and we were running through very thick smoke. We couldn't see anything. What I remember next is that we were in the rocks and we were all shouting, crying. Some were jumping in the sea, despite the big rocks that were there. Some were describing how they got out. There were children there. We were all in a really bad situation and we didn't know what would happen next.
Ήμασταν όλοι σε μια πάρα πολύ άσχημη κατάσταση εκείνη τη στιγμή και δεν ξέραμε τι θα γίνει.
Kylie is still very angry. What she wants is to leave the country as soon as possible. I'm really annoyed by the fact that I need to stay in the country at least for a couple of years for my rehabilitation. This country, in the end, hurt me a lot, and I don't want it. If people here keep living this way without changing their mentality, I don't want this country. So much time has passed and still no one has apologized. Months after the tragedy in Mati, the remains of charred houses still stand like the burned trees on the ground. But the government still hasn't clarified the terms under which the people in the fire-stricken areas can start rebuilding. After a long period of waiting the last weeks, the authorities finally started the demolition of the houses that are unfit to live. Vasilis Kanelopoulos watched the house of his childhood years being demolished alongside his family. His parents lived there permanently the last 15 years. What the residents want now is to get the authorization to start repairing the houses that can be repaired or build again the houses that were destroyed. Right now we don't see anything. People just wait and try to find a way to get through each day. Some in camps, other guests in friendly houses. A lot of them don't live in very human conditions. We don't feel that the state is close to us in a natural disaster where the state was absent. They also expect justice to be served concerning the criminal responsibilities.
Yes, these people, the Egyptian fishermen, two Egyptian fishermen and one Albanian were awarded with a Greek citizenship as the government claims that they offered special services to the country, and in these cases, according to the law, people like that are awarded with Greek citizenship. There are two Egyptians, as I said, and one Albanian that work here as fishermen. They have been living in Greece for many years, and in a special ceremony yesterday, the president of the Greek Republic, Prokopis Pavlopoulos, awarded them with the Greek citizenship.